Hey guys, building an alter ego or a second version of oneself is by far one of the most powerful and fastest ways to turn around your performance. I have worked with young athletes from 10 years old all the way up athletes at the professional level. And when we build out an alter ego for an athlete, we really focus specifically on the attributes that they need to perform at the top level. And what I mean by that is there's performance anxiety that can come into play. There's fear of making mistakes. There's emotion that can kick in after mistakes or after losses. And the fastest way that I've ever seen eliminate those things isn't going through a ton of, reflective therapy, if you will, from, oh, you react like this because when you were 6 years old, you saw your dad get upset at a game. And it really is that's way too deep of a dive to go into. Rather than being able to understand that you have the control within your own being to create the version of yourself, and I'm talking about the best version of yourself, and take that version into performance. The version of you that doesn't have fear, that isn't afraid to make mistakes, that doesn't have performance anxiety. It can be built and it can be created, and it can be taken into your field of play, your court, whatever it is in your life that you need to perform at your top. It is that simple to create and get going. So I spend several weeks with each one of my clients building these alter egos and really getting a good understanding of what it is that they struggle in with performance and how we can create this alter ego to take into their performance to eliminate those struggles, to get rid of them, and so they're no longer a hindrance. One of the most famous ever to do it is Kobe Bryant, right, with the Black Mamba. A lot of people think that was something that was driven by the media or something like that. It was not. It was actually a character that he worked with, one of my mentors, to create that character, to create the fact that he needed kind of a different version of himself to take onto the court, especially when he was going through some personal struggles in his life. He wasn't quite sure how to handle it all. So an alter ego was built for him known as the Black Mamba. And the attributes of that Black Mamba snake in particular is where Kobe really focused hard on how he wanted to approach and go into his competition. And it's the same thing, like I said, top level professionals like Kobe Bryant, all the way down to the young athlete who I work a ton with. We create these alter egos to help base the best version of yourself to take out onto the court or onto your field of play, right? We take these characteristics and we push them over to what we need to be. The weaker characteristics that oftentimes is in our core self, right? Fear, emotion, things like that we know deep down we shouldn't be bringing into our sport. But we're able to eliminate those and understand that that's a different version of ourselves. That individual part of ourselves is different, and I don't need that to show up on the court. I don't need that to show up on the field. So I'm building an alter ego with the attributes to show up in my sport. The other things, they can stay to the side, and we have tools to help you get them to make sure they stay on the side and they don't interfere with your performance. That is by far the biggest and most beneficial thing to using an alter ego or a second self when it comes to identity-based performance. And that's something I've specialized in for years, and I haven't seen anything that works quite as effectively. I haven't seen anything that works quite as quickly, because you're able to really kind of talk through it and get a pretty decent understanding of it quickly. Now again, there's time to work through and kind of refine and perfect that art, but it really is the fastest way to get you from where you are to where you want to be.